Hello there, my fellow myth and fantasy nerds. My name is Tanner, and I'd like to welcome you back to my YouTube channel. Now, this week's video will be installment numero 7 of my series where I introduce you to the D&D characters that I've created but have not played yet. As mentioned in all of my previous videos, a link to the playlist up in the cards and in the description down below, I've decided to break this series down by character race, or species, or ancestry, or whatever you prefer. And in this case, I'll be going over my half-orc characters. Now, half-orcs, similar to the half-elves of last episode, are really what it says on the tin. They're beings who are half-human, half-orc. They usually come about when alliances between humans and orcs are created and sealed with marriage. Now, some half-orcs rise to become powerful chiefs of their tribes, their human side giving them an edge over full-blooded orcs, while others venture out into the world to prove their worth to humans and more civilized peoples. However, many of these half-orcs become adventurers, hoping to achieve greatness and notoriety for their mighty accomplishments. So as always, make sure you leave a like on this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe down below, since that always helps. And without further ado, allow me to introduce to you the first character in the 7th group of D&D characters that I created. Cask, you're on! What was that? I'm on? Oh! Greetings and salutations, dear viewers. My name is Cask-Half-Orc Bard extraordinaire, but please, call me Cask. All my friends do. Now, my backstory is actually quite similar to Leo from the last video. However, my single mother was not the disgraced daughter of elven nobility, but rather a disgraced human noble. However, everything else is the same. We were taken in by a traveling caravan of performers while she was pregnant with me. Now, Mother never described my father to me growing up, and of course, every time I asked, she would immediately change the subject. However, those performers in the caravan became our surrogate family, and as such, I had several aunties, uncles, and cousins. I took part in the caravan's entertainment for coin, whether as a performer or as someone behind the scenes. When I felt the need, I left of my own free will to pursue my own journey. But before I left, I was given a special crest with the performer's symbol on it, so I would be welcomed back if I were to return. Now, Tanner's plan, once he plays me to the correct level, of course, is for me to become a College of Swords bard, similar to Drunken Neptune, who you met in earlier videos. Now, my highest score is obviously going to be my charisma, but in my case, once you factor in the ability scores you get from being a half-orc, it's also tied with my constitution, both of which are at 14. Now, my worst score, on the other hand, is actually not my strength this time, but rather my wisdom at 11. Now, as for my alignment, I tend towards the chaotic good alignment. Now, similar to the half-elves, we half-orcs tend towards being chaotic, due to our orc heritage. However, unlike half-elves, we aren't strongly inclined towards good, though there are some exceptions like me. Anyway, it was a pleasure to make your acquaintance, of course, and now I will pass it over to the next character. Oh, Manakur! Eh? Oh, my apologies. I did not see you there. My name is Manakur-Striker, and as with others you will meet, I am also half-orc. However, I am Warlock, and my backstory cannot be more different than Cask. You see, I was born half-human in proud tribe of orcs. Life as half-breed, as they call me, was difficult, especially once I show signs of what they call weakness. I was not soldier, I was thinker, and worst of all to them, I got sick at sight of blood. Others in the tribe constantly bully me for years because of this. Now, final straw came the day they caught Pegasus, an innocent creature they would most likely enslave, or worse. I took one look at the poor creature, and I take pity on it. Secretly, in dead of night, I release it, and it flew away. When other orcs in tribe found this out, they surely would have killed me, had it not been for my father, who was chieftain at the time. He ruled I was not to be killed, but banished, shunned, and cast out. I left day after, and wandered the world for a long time after. A few days later, Pegasus I saved come back, and speak to me, in voice deep as rumblings in the earth, yet as sweet as wind through meadow. He tell me he was Flengoth, an archfey, known as God of Pegasi, and Lord of Healing, Loyalty, and Protection. He tell me that as I rescue one of his subjects, even at risk of my own life, he would grant me Warlock's power as thanks. Not only this, he would also help me find new tribe, one that would accept me more than my old tribe ever did. Now, as Warlock, Charisma is strongest score for me at 17. My worst score, on the other hand, is again not my strength, but wisdom. Though, since it is at 13, it is not worse by that much. As mentioned before, my patron is Archfey, and he gives me spellcasting focus that takes the form of rod with Pegasus feathers on the end. When Tanner plays me to correct level, he plans on having us go with Pact of Tome, where my patron will be giving me Book of Shadows, which will contain 3 new cantrips for me to be using in battle. Also, like Kesk, my alignment is chaotic good. Oh, look over there. It is next character Tanner wishes for you to be meeting. Oguosk? Yes, Manakur, what is it? Oh, greetings and salutations. My name is Oguosk-Whitewing, and as with the others in this video, I am half-orc. But please, call me Oguosk. However, in my case, I am neither bard nor warlock, but a sorcerer. Specifically, a draconic bloodline sorcerer. Now, as for my backstory, I was raised in a dragon's den. My single mother was good friends with Fathorum, a silver dragon, who allowed her and me to stay with her in her cave. And in exchange, my mother and I, when I was old enough, would provide services such as greeting guests, cleaning, maintaining inventory, and cooking fine meals. Ah, the fondest memories I have, you wouldn't believe. Playing in piles of treasure, stirring a 2,000-gallon soup pot, donning magic clothes and weapons, leafing through esoteric books of powerful magic, admittedly just to look at the pictures, and attempting to outwit our draconic landlady with whatever games and puzzles I could think of. Now I left to seek my fortune on good terms, about the same time as Fathorm's youngling Clarith, with whom I share a close brotherly bond, left to establish his own territory. I hope someday to carve out a little bit of the world for myself. Now, my highest score, despite being a sorcerer, is actually not my charisma this time, but my constitution at 14. while my worst score, on the other hand, actually is my strength this time, at 10. And of course, like all the other half-orcs you've met and will meet, my alignment is chaotic good. Anyway, it was a pleasure to meet you, of course, but I should probably send you over to the next character. Ronaorim? What? What have I told you about sneaking up on a guy like that? I'm sorry. I'm Ronaorim. Ronaorim Pride Spirit, and I'm a half-orc druid. My story is really eerily similar to the other druids you've met so far, due to the fact that I was from a druidic village that was destroyed by a dragon. However, unlike the majority of the druids that you've met so far, it wasn't an ice-breathing white dragon, but rather a fire-spitting red dragon. Now, like with the others, Tanner has not yet played me, but he does plan on making me a Circle of the Moon druid once I get to the correct level. Now, what this means is that I will become as changeable as the moon. One night I might prowl like a big cat, the next I might soar like an eagle, then the next I might scare off an opponent in the form of a bear. Also, as with most of the other half-orcs you've met and will meet, I am chaotic good. Now, once again, my highest score, in my case, is my constitution at 17, but my lowest score is my strength at 11. Anyway, it was nice to meet you, but like with my fellow druids, I need to commune with nature, since I find that very common. Gromusk, you mind taking over from here? Oh, very well, Ronaorim. How do you do? My name is Gromusk-Half-Orc, and I am a half-orc wizard. But please, call me Gromusk. Now, my story is actually really similar to Manakur, what with being raised half-human in a tribe of proud orcs, who made fun of me when I started showing signs of what they call weakness. However, in my case, the final straw for me was after the tribe found me practicing magic, and that is what they cast me out of the tribe for. Now, as a wizard, my highest score is my intelligence, since that is where we get our magic from. However, in my case, once you factor in ability score increases I get for being a half-orc, it is actually tied with my constitution, both of which are at 15. My worst score, on the other hand, is actually my charisma at 8. Now, with most of my fellow half-orc characters, I am of the chaotic good alignment, and Tanner's intent, as soon as he places me, is to specialize as a war magic wizard, as soon as I get to the appropriate level. But what is war magic, I am hearing you asking? Well, the School of War Magic essentially trains wizards for war, combining principles of both evocation and abjuration magic, that teaches techniques that empower spells while also bolstering defenses. To wizards of this school, such as myself, magic is both weapon and armor, and is a resource superior to any piece of steel. After all, what good is being able to cast a mighty fireball spell if I die before I can cast it? Anyway, it was a pleasure to be making your acquaintance, of course. However, we've got to round off this group of characters, and I think I know just the half orc. Oh, Olladall, I believe I hear someone making fun of Clareth. Go. Who insulted him? Let me at him! I'll get him! Oh, apologies if I scared you. I'm Olladall. Olladall on Rage. Once again, I'm a half orc. However, I'm a half orc barbarian. To make a long backstory short, I basically have the same story as Oguosk, the sorcerer you met earlier. What with me being raised in a dragon's den and all. Now, once again, since Tanner has not played me yet, I do not have a character level. However, The plan is when he eventually does play me, I will take the barbarian path of the beast when I reach the right level. What this means is that, unlike most barbarians, who gain enhanced strength, durability, and speed when they rage, mine will manifest as a certain animal trait appearing on certain areas of my body, either animalistic jaws, claws, or even a tail. Now, this is because, as it turns out, one of my ancestors was an arch-druid, and therefore I have somehow inherited the ability to partially change shape. Now, as a barbarian, my best score is my constitution at 18, and my worst score, sadly, is my dexterity at 10. And of course, like all the other half-orcs, my alignment is chaotic good. Anyway, it's high time Tanner wrap up here. Tanner, wrap it up! Olladall, please. The angry, aggressive barbarian is so cliche. I thought I taught you guys better than that. Honestly, these characters, I'm telling you. Anyway, and there we have it. That was the 7th set of D&D characters that I've created, but have not played yet. If you like this video and you want more, please give it a like and subscribe down below so you don't miss any new videos. Also, if you have any other ideas for any future videos, please leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Who knows? It might just happen. Alright, well, that's all the time I have for this video, so I'll see you all next week with part 8 in this series, where I will go over my Loxodon characters. See you guys then.